Hello, welcome to What's Inside Webinar 1. This is the first webinar of 2 that happen each month. And this one's the Unpack the Box webinar for people going through the What's Inside programme. Now, normally on this webinar, you'd know why you're here because you're on the programme. But this is a very first one because the programme's still new and people are coming on board. Normally, I wouldn't be sharing the videos and the recordings of the What's Inside webinars because they're private to the people going through the programme. But this is a sneak peek inside what might be happening and to give you a chance to see inside the box and what I'm going on about. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me backtrack a little bit. What's Inside is a programme, a very unusual personal development programme. It can last for up to a year. It changes with the seasons. It reflects the path of the year. It's month by month. It's a monthly subscription. The minimum subscription is for 3 months because that's the minimum amount of time to be able to see what's starting to unfold. So it is a commitment, but it's not like normal development programs. We work very much with metaphor. We work very much with the senses. We work to explore, as it says on the box, what's inside. The answers to how we can know that we are enough, how we can grow into all that we can be, are not out there. The answers are inside. But how we manage to access that can be quite difficult. So we sometimes need something that's not just a cognitive process. Yes, it helps to be able to sense make and make new connections cognitively, but we have a whole neurology. We have data about our whole being that we can access to help us have clues around who we really are, who we really can be, who we are beneath all the baggage that we've picked up over the years, and what would happen if we were to shed that baggage, how we can let it go. What's Inside is a programme supported by me to help you to do that. As I say, we have 2 webinars each month. One to look at the contents of the stimulus that I'll send you, and then another one later in the month after you've had time to sit with what it's brought up for a little while, and I can answer questions live, and I can show you as I go through my own journey. I've been on my own personal development journey for a long time now. I don't claim to have all the answers, but I know I've come a long way. And maybe in some respects, I may be a little bit further ahead than you. Maybe in other ways, you're further ahead than me. But we can support each other and learn from each other and find inspiration from other people's journeys. It's like stories. When we read an amazing story, then we see what's in it that's for us. It feels easier to access somebody else's story sometimes and then see what the learning is for us, which is why it's important to do it in community. And of course, if you want, you can also work one-to-one with me. That's for the inner circle of What's Inside. And I only take a maximum of 15 people to work with one-to-one. Otherwise, I can't give the attention that I'd like to. But many more are welcome on the standard journey of What's Inside. Tell me what you think of that so far. I'm going to pause for some questions. So before you come to this webinar each month, you should have received your box in the post. It's be sent to you. This one's my one for this month. Now, each month, the contents of the box will be different. Generally, I'll stick with the same theme and send the same box contents to everybody. But sometimes, if stocks are odd, or I know somebody's going through something in particular, the contents may vary a little bit. So use this as a guide. And so I want to unpack this box. It's designed to hit all the senses. So you'll find something for that inside. So let me open it up. So here is the box. Now, the first thing you'll notice when you open the box is it smells, hopefully nice. But as you open the box, and smell it. What does it remind you of? What does the smell remind you of? And you might like to seek out the source of the smell, which in this case is an incense stick. Now, I think this one I've sent out is jasmine. And so I'm already noticing what jasmine evokes in me. It smells quite fresh, but comforting, floral, but not fluffy for a scent. So I have the incense stick, and as I'm sitting here thinking that I'm going to spend some time unpacking the box, I can either choose to light this now and have the scent around me and have it burning, or save it for later. I'm going to save it till later, partly because I might sneeze. So we have something for scent in the box. Before I won't go into each thing in detail, let me unpack the whole box first. So what else is there? Well, my company's Tea and Empathy. So inevitably, there is a tea in here, different flavour each month. And obviously, we're hitting taste. I'm using Pucker tea bags because I think they're the best. And this one is turmeric gold. I don't think I've tried turmeric gold, but while I'm unpacking, I'm going to taste this one. Have it sitting there. I've got a teacup already. And I have hot water. You might want to do the same as you're unpacking your box, or maybe you've got a cup of tea already. I'm going to pause again for more questions, comments. Yes, a few cups of tea around. Turmeric gold, it helps with smell again. It smells really comforting. And it's an autumnal day. This is November. It's grey outside. I'm feeling like I need to conserve my energy. It's hard to keep energy. But turmeric gold, it has turmeric root, green tea, licorice root, cardamom pod, lemon essential oil, and lemon verbena leaf. There's a hint of the bitterness. And taking a taste actually takes me right back to a holiday I had in Morocco, pre-kids, 25 years ago. It's interesting what that's already evoked in me, and I'll come back to that in a moment. Inside the box, there's also some abstract art. I'm wondering what this may represent for me at this point in time. Inside the box, if you're working one-to-one, it's a handwritten, individual, bespoke, sealed letter. If you're on the standard programme, I'm afraid it will still be handwritten, but it will be copied. And depending on how I'm doing for time or how many people, it may not be sealed. But one-to-one, you'll always get a personal letter from me. What's in my letter to myself, I'm going to keep to myself. I send an object for touch, and in this one, it's a disc of wood with rings and bark. It's tactile, something for touch. Again, I already know some of the things that are coming up as I look at this object and what it may represent for me. But again, I'll come on to that in a moment. Let's see what else is still inside the box. Well, there are 5 question cards. I send different questions each month. Usually, you'll all be getting the same questions at the same time, but again, sometimes they may vary. So questions like, how would you or do you know that you've achieved success? Or this one, why do you want to develop? It's a simple question, It's got many layers to it. Why do I want to be better than I am now? Does that in itself imply I'm not enough? What is it that I feel I need to develop into? Why do I want to change from here? What's my driver? What's my motivator? What are the implications of that desire to keep on moving better and better? What is it that sits beneath it? I'm not sure I have the answers to all those questions, but I can have a lot of fun exploring them. So 5 different questions. Again, we'll come back to them a little bit more. And each month I send a book. Sometimes it's a big book, sometimes it's a small book, sometimes it's a leadership book, sometimes it's a personal development book. I can't actually remember what's wrapped in this one because it was my kind of demo box. I think I'm going to keep the wrapping nice in here so I can use it again for a demo. But I think it may be Man's Search for Meaning that's in there from Viktor Frankl, which is one of the most powerful books that stayed with me for a very long time. So I'll always send you something either that I'm wanting to read myself or something that I know has impact. So in Man's Search for Meaning, the quote that always stays with me is it's the last of the human freedoms. It's our ability to choose our response in any circumstance. Very profound book. You may sometimes have had the book before. I'm sorry if that is the case. And there is benefit in re-looking at the book or rereading the book or gifting the book to somebody else and exploring the book in community, because somebody else's take on it will be different. So it's like having our own mini book club, and we get to explore the book more on the second webinar. And this month I'll record that one too. For sound, I'll send you a suggested track. This was my daughter's idea, because I was thinking, I might just have to send through a link or put it online, which I do in the online resource centre. But I can also print off the Spotify code, so you just need to scan it and you'll go straight to the track. So a different sound or music or song each month for you to listen to, see what it evokes in you, for you to explore, see what it brings up. I'll send you a poem. This one's an extract from some Wordsworth, but something to words to make you feel in a different way. They'll have different because poetry is so much around metaphor. I'll have different meaning for you than it may do for others. But for some people, poetry is powerful. For others, it doesn't work so much. Part of the reason why I have a box with so much stimulus in it is different people will take different things, and you're all on different journeys, as I am myself. And then finally in the box, send you a pen to write and a notebook, Tea and Empathy notebook. I've got 3 different notebooks. So I'll start off over the 3 months, I'll send you one of each. And then if you stay with me for longer than the 3 months, I'll either keep sending you your favourite one or just keep cycling through them. So I like Dreams and Schemes. This one's my favourite one because I like to have blank pages to write my thoughts in. But these pages are numbered and there's room at the front for me to have an index of my thoughts so I can find my thoughts again quite quickly. So this is my Dreams and Schemes notebook. So now I've got down to the bottom box. I've got my notebook and my pen. I can put the box to one side. I've got my cup of tea brewing. And now I can give a little bit more thought, consideration to what's in the box. I'm going to do a bit more of that now. But of course, you don't have to do it all in one go. Keep coming back to it. Keep the objects out. Keep the cards to hand. I have one client who keeps them all in a wallet together and carries them around and looks at different ones at different times. He's got quite a collection now. Have the object around, pick it up, feel it from time to time, leave it on your desk. see what it evokes, and capture your thoughts. But what helps in this exploration is starting with, where am I right now? What's on my mind? What's bothering me? What is it that what's my inquiry question? So I suppose I ought to answer that for myself right now. What's my inquiry question? So this development in the business, the subscription, what's inside, sharing more off on social media, running a business that's more than just coaching, it's very new for me. I'm finding my way in how to market and how to sell, and that doesn't always sit comfortably or come naturally. I notice the little voice that comes up that says, maybe you're not enough and you can't do this, Rachel. Maybe nobody else will want it. But I can listen to a deeper voice beneath that. But I'd like to explore the aspects of it. What is it that I'm actually worried about with business beyond, well, I pay my bills? What's my fear that's here? And I can look at the contents of the box to help me get to that. So that's my question. What am I afraid of about my new business? You'll have your own inquiry question. I suggest you write it down in your notebook, if you've got it there, whichever one you've got. Dreams and schemes, or you might have ruled and unruly. Let me pause for a moment while I look at comments and get my other notebooks to show you. And yes, different views on different notebooks. So I have a lined version, which is called Ruled and Unruly. There's lines inside, and again, like Dreams and Schemes, it's not, pages are numbered, so I'm room for an index at the front. There are times when I'm needing to do lists or be more structured, when I like using Ruled and Unruly, and I have a couple of clients, this one's their absolute favourite. Or I got my very first notebook, which is just my Teen Empathy notebook, which is just simply blank. 50 pages blankness. I like them because they're slim, they don't have too many, that you fill them quite quickly, which means I'm not scurrying through them all the time trying to find the contents, and they fit in my bag should I ever be out and about again. So they're notebooks. But anyway, the inquiry, what am I afraid of? I've got my notebook here. What am I going to go for first? I'm reaching and noticing I'm reaching for my cup of tea first. It's turned into the most amazing colour. So what does this tea, in what way does the metaphor or what this tea provokes in me, it making me think about Morocco? In what way does that apply to my situation? So I suppose I'm thinking about, so Morocco felt deeply uncomfortable as a place to visit. It was outside my comfort zone. I wasn't used to the hawkers. I wasn't used to being hassled in the street. I didn't like it at first, but I then found my way with humour and tolerance and savvy. And I suppose that's similar here. As I find my way to market and to sell, it feels really intrusive on others to begin with, and I don't have to sell in that way. I'm not trying to force people to have anything that I don't think will benefit them. I'm not looking to take advantage, and I can keep it light. Yeah, so Morocco is interesting. That experience does relate to a deeper fear. It's part of the experiences that lead to that fear, that be seen as selling in that way. Yet beyond that, there is the exotic and the exciting, the richness of the colour, There's new experiences, the unfamiliar, and what an adventure that is. Mm. So the taste and the smell and the colour of my tea gives me new insight into actually what the fear around my business might be. What next? What other angle shall I come in at? Well, I'm noticing I'm grabbing I'm grabbing this. I love having something so tactile. It'll always be something related to nature. Because if you didn't know, I used to be a forester. I used to grow trees. I love trees. I love nature. And I use it as a metaphor and a learning all the time. I find it fascinating. I can use more of my forestry knowledge these days in coaching, probably than I ever did when I was in forestry. And I've probably forgotten more than I have, than I know as well. So this disc, what's it feel like? It feels smooth. It feels light. It feels solid. It feels quite strong. It's rough on the outside. The rings, the concentric rings with a clear core. So what this makes me think in terms of my business, well, actually what first comes up to me is all the different layers of me and who I am at the heart. But I'm all these layers, I'm all these rings, and I'm growing. This isn't still growing, but I am. And something of a tougher exterior, a protective barrier. I don't want just anyone in my business. I'm not looking to reach thousands. I'm looking to reach people who are genuinely committed to their personal growth journey. I need some kind of barrier to make sure that the people who come in are the people who want to do the work and who are willing to partner with me to make it work, who nourish me as much as I nourish them. That's what that's making me think about. And classic. Maybe I need to take the rough with the smooth. I think there's probably more in that, but I'm conscious of the time. Let me pause again. What are you thinking? Some fascinating thoughts emerging. So, what next? I'm not going to spend and go through everything in here. This is just to give you a flavour and an idea. And each month something different will strike you. Maybe it'll be the question cards. Maybe it'll be smell. Maybe it'll be the art. Here's my art postcard. This is probably the piece that's most likely to change for people from month to month. Less of a seasonal theme to the cards and more of a random selection. You can see what randomly comes to you. So I quite like this. I'm noticing that actually the connection of the colours, from my tea, and it's very orangey. It does feel autumn. As I'm looking out my window at the autumn leaves, it's picking up many of the same colours. Some purple, which I love. But there's something around these concentric interlinked rings. So what might this hold? What meaning am I taking from this for my business? So I immediately get something about, actually more like the metaphor about spinning many plates. I've gone from being in part of a team, coming back out and being my own business, and it's just me. And so I'm my own IT, I'm my own HR, I'm my own finance. I have the support of an accountant. I'm my own technical support, my own marketing, my own sales, and I do delivery, all these different aspects in the business, and they all interlink with complexity. But what I notice in this is how beautiful it can be too. Some of them are smaller rings, some of them are bigger rings, some of them have more impact. So it's reminding me the beautiful interlocked nature of the business, and I may be more comfortable with some of the rings than others, but I'm enjoying holding them all. And knowing I don't need to be huge. There's an intimacy in this as well. A cohesiveness and an intimacy and a sense of togetherness. And I want to keep that. I want to stay close to my clients and the people I work with, so it feels genuine and it feels human, even though it's virtual. That's the other thing. That's the other beauty of the box, because I can't be with you in person at the moment, and who knows when that will be able to be again. And I've always done virtual coaching, but there is something that misses in the personal connection, in the physical, being able to be in somebody else's presence. When I pack this box, as I pack this box up and think of you as I'm packing it up, I'll be packing it, your name on the front, thinking about you as I place inside the right notebook and the pen that will be in your hand as you write. As I pack inside a poem and I wonder whether it will speak to you or not. As send through a suggestion of a track and thinking, I wonder if that's like your taste in music or what it will evoke, or is it something different? I'll be thinking of you in that. And if we're working one-to-one, I'll have written of you a letter. As I pop in a random piece of art, thinking, I wonder if it's how appropriate this is going to be or not. Will this hit the place that you're at? I'll try and keep it random, even if we're working one-to-one, rather than me trying to presume the meaning that you will take. It's not about the meaning that I make of it for you. It's about the meaning you make of it for yourself. And as I put in the objects, which objects bring me real joy to put in? Of course, they're always going to be something small. It's just a small box. Sometimes the book's bigger, and so I have a bigger version of the box to try and fit those in. But most of the time, it's just through the letterbox, just off its side and through. And the book. I might have to unwrap this one soon to work out what's inside that one. But I do. I think that one may be Man's Search for Meaning. And I look forward at the end of the month to being able to spend a bit more time thinking about the book and the meaning that we take from the book. And I'll think about the questions, and in our one-to-one calls, we can often come back to something. Which one? Example, what's your story about yourself? What are the stories that you say over and over until you believe they are true? What's the way you construct the story of your life and who you are? This one's been powerful with one of my clients at the moment. What strength do you rely on the most? Something you fall back on over and over and over until it becomes like your identity. But actually, you'll have many other strengths, many other aspects that maybe will take you further. Are you over-relying on one strength? So these box of provocation take you to places and thoughts you might not otherwise have done. And I can hold a space for you either in the webinar or one-to-one, where you can look at it with curiosity, without judgment. There's no right or wrong. You're not broken and you don't need fixing. You can explore and learn how to understand and accept without shame all the aspects of yourself that it reveals. And we are seasonal and we are organic. And as the different senses and metaphors evolve through the year and the cycle of the year, you'll have a much more holistic and complete sense of yourself. And it's not just a nice to have. I say what sits behind why I do this work is it's only in this self-inquiry, this deep developmental inquiry in our understanding of ourselves, that we come to know how we respond and that we are enough. When we know that we're enough and we're able to let go of that habitual fear or the patterns that we have, then we allow for more self-compassion and more compassion towards others, more understanding. Our behaviour is not driven by deep unconscious fears. It's driven from a place that we are all enough. And if from that place, then the world stands a chance. The world at the moment is driven by fear and separation, separation from self, separation from nature. What's inside, I will never claim is going to change the world, but it's part of my offering to help people go on a place where they can accept themselves, be more at ease with themselves, have more joy, notice more, relish more, feel more alive, have different conversations, more meaningful conversations, open up new relationships. That's what I want for you. And that's what I believe this little box and this kind of space can start to open up. Looking forward to working with you. If I'm not working with you, but you've seen this recording, then get in touch, follow the links, or just book in a call. We can talk about it. I'm never going to put you under pressure to have something that I don't believe is right for you or that doesn't offer value. Hope to see you soon. Thank you for listening. And for those of you on the programme, I will see you on the webinar at the end of the month.